So if you can believe it, we're about to start quarter four. Somehow we've just suddenly slipped into the last quarter of the year. And I want this to be an incredible year for you. And the way that we're going to remember whether it's an incredible year is by how we see it out. And everything that has happened so far, we've got to be able to put behind us so that we can finish these next 3 months achieving everything that we want to achieve and wake up on the 31st of December absolutely ready to nail 2024. So we're going to go through some key tips on how you can go all in on quarter four and absolutely dominate the end of this year, the tail end of this year, so that you are all ready to go for 2024 without all the hype, but by making this a lifestyle. Okay, so let's get back into this. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I'm your host, James Boardman. If you are coming through, please do let me know by hitting the love heart button a couple of times and commenting down below. And you've got to be honest. You've got to write down whether you feel you are fully prepared for quarter four, or whether you feel like you're still all over the place, or whether you haven't even started. And honesty is key in the comments, okay? So, I always look at this quarter as the business end of the quarter, okay? So whenever we look at Q4, it's always about how can we finish a year, whether the year's been good or not over the last sort of 9 months. How can we finish strong? How can we always wake up on that 31st of December, and when we do our reflection, when we're in that Christmas, New Year spirit, how can we kind of look back and go, man, I'm happy with how this year panned out? Because it's so true, right? We only ever remember the last part, really, of the year. We only ever really judge whether the year has been a success based on how the end of it went. So if we can go all in on this, and we can put a little bit energy, a little bit extra drive, a little bit extra passion into achieving the success that we want to achieve, maybe we could set ourselves up for a really strong start of next year. Okay, and I don't think this is about hype. I don't think this is about fads. I think this is about creating a lifestyle that supports your dreams, your aspirations, your demands, your expectations, all of those good things, right? So I think one of the key things that I sort of want to put into your mind, and yesterday I went to Wembley in London with my boy, and we went to go and watch an NFL game, Jaguars versus Falcons. And my boy loves the Jaguars, and he loves NFL, and he loves playing American football, and I can see it brings him so much value and so much passion and so much content. So I think it's really important once a year to at least go and try and watch an NFL game when they're in the UK, right? I'd love to be able to take him to America and do it and watch the Super Bowl sometime. But when we go there, he completely becomes fixated on this pitch, on walking into Wembley, on seeing the players. He can see his visualization, he can see his dream, right in front of him. And all these players that have shown up and are all professionals, have all gone through the trials, all gone through the system, bang, bang, bang. And he can see that. And I think it's important to visualise the dream, right? Because his dream would be to play for the Jaguars at Wembley. Now, whether that happens or not, you know, the chances are very small, but it doesn't mean it still can't be a dream we can't go after. And I think when we go to Wembley and we look at the pitch and we see the players throwing the ball around and they're involved in their game, what he's doing and what I'm exposing him to is a visualization of that dream, okay, so that he feels, man, this is what I want. This is what I want to work towards, okay, or work towards. So when we visualize the dream, we can then build the process, okay? And sometimes we forget what the dream is, what the passion is, what the desires are, what the expectations are, what the goals are. And when we do that, we lack the process to get us there. Now, it's the process that creates the man, okay? It's not the dream, okay? It's not the expectations, but the process. And the third step, showing up and executing that process, because the process builds discipline, it builds the standards, it builds the direction, it builds the character, it builds the understanding and the state of mind. Okay, and I think for many guys, that's what they're missing from the life, right? I feel like most men have a dream. If I asked you all to put a dream in the comments, in fact, do it. If you feel like you want to do it, like, what's the dream? Maybe it's to run your own business. Okay, maybe it's just to have a happy life with your wife. Maybe it's to run a 50-miler. But that's the thing that we're visualizing, right? And the process is, okay, so this is what I'm going to do to go from A, where I am right now, to B, which is the dream. And through it, I'm going to learn, I'm going to build structure, we're going to build systems, we're going to build routines, we're going to find wins. And that's the process, right? And the showing up and the execution is the cherry on top, right? Making sure that we put that process into play. And that's what I exposed him to. And I hopefully generated some drive, some motivation, some inspiration to say, right, these next 3 months, we're going to put the work in. We're going to throw ourselves into our training. We're going to do the work that needs to be done. And we're going to do it through the cold months, right? Cold, wet months of November and December. And that's what I think you guys need to do to make sure that you are going to win Q4. What's the vision? What's the dream? When you wake up on 31st, what do you want life to feel like? Emotionally, mentally, physically? How do you want to feel? What does life look like? Okay. Do you feel like you've got a sense of purpose? Do you feel like you're on a process? Do you feel like you're on a mission? Do you feel like you're getting direction? Is there a process? What was the process like leading up to it? Did you come up against hurdles? Did you overcome those hurdles? Did you get yourself back off the floor when you fell down? Did you show up? What did you learn about yourself? Because it's not really about the 31st of December. It's about the rest of your life. But we have to somehow get you on your feet and get you working and moving forwards to follow a process, right? That is what the key aspects of winning over Q4 is. Like any quarter, it doesn't really matter whether it's Q1, 2, 3 or 4. But if we can do it and we can get to the end of the year and we can go, man, I smashed the life out of that. Look where I am, look how I'm set up for 2024, look where my mind's at, look where my body's at, look where my finances are at, look where my career's at, I'm ready to go. And I think that is one of the most important aspects of you being successful. And you can dive in deep to your goals and your outcomes and everything else. But ultimately it comes down to those 3 things. Visualize the dream, initiate or build the process, and show up and do the work. Make sense? Cool. So what I want you to do, I want you to, in the comments, tell me the dream, tell me the process, and tell me how much you want it and how much you're going to show up. Okay? In whatever format, however you perceive you want to do that, do it. And I'll be interested to see how many of you actually will just do that short exercise. It will set the tone for Q4. All right, guys, I'll see you Wednesday. Good to be back. Good to see you. And we've got something coming up really soon, which is our mentor days. So we've got 2 mentor days before our big seminar up at Birmingham in November. Got one for business owners, and we've got one for non-business owners, funny enough. But I'll have more information on them later on in the week. All right, guys, have a great week. Good to be back. Good to see you. Take care.